They say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poorest part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it. This is where it goes down. I just happen to come apart. Legal or illegal, baby, I gotta make it.
What's good, family? Welcome back to Power After Hours, your favorite power podcast. Jeff on the left side, Chrissy on the right side, and we are here to recap Power, Book 2 Ghost, Season 4, Episode 9, Married to the Game. You already know where to find us. Power After Hours Instagram, Power After Hours on Twitter. And also, you can get us on YouTube where you're watching us here now. Shout out to the live gang. YouTube.com, Power After Hours. Like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to be able to get into the live chat, find out about our latest Power episodes, and join the greatest Power community on the internet. And of course, shout out to the audio gang. Wherever you get podcasts, you can hear us as well. Big day. Big day. Big episode. We said there was major shakeups that were about to happen.
Yeah.
And the shakeups are happening. Chrissy, what's the temperature check like with you today?
I'm hot. It was it was a hell of an episode, man. Like I had to like literally think about how I was gonna put my words together tonight because there's so much.
I'm gonna give you the ISO. Keep going.
Oh, Jeff is out of here. So much has been going through my brain with this episode. Like, I just wanted to make sure I said the right words so that y'all didn't avoid the Chrissy train, because I know I've been real harsh on some characters this season, but goddamn, what an episode. I feel like last week we said there were a lot of things that we needed to tie up in terms of a lot of holes with storylines. And I feel like this episode gave us that opportunity to wrap it up in the right way so that we can get ready for this finale, because so much happened in one episode. Like, it was like watching a movie for me. Like, I don't know about y'all. Let me know in the comments, but it was like watching a movie. I was sitting there the whole time with my mouth open. And I know y'all was the same way. Jeff, thank you for joining us again. Okay?
I was here the whole time. I put you on ISO.
Oh, I thought you was like, I'm out.
I said I put you on. ISO does not mean I'm out. ISO means I was giving you the solo cam. I called your number. You was at the top of the key. We went 5 out. We cleared the court, and you went one-on-one with the narrative.
I had so much to say, child. Listen, my brain is fried. That episode, it might be, I might have to put it out there as one of the best Power episodes. It was just that good. I'm really impressed with what they delivered in that episode. What about you?
Yeah, I right immediately after I watched. So funny story. You know that Power drops Friday at midnight, right? Friday morning, technically at midnight. Mm-hmm. So I usually watch it late afternoon Friday, depending on, try to catch it at midnight. Okay. But I have to watch it within 24 hours because of the work that I do. I gotta be on social. Yeah. People be spoiling stuff. So I try to insulate myself, and I follow my own rules. And I remember this used to be a hot debate years and years and years ago about whether or not people should tweet or talk on social media about shows that air live. And as somebody who is a social media professional, I can tell you right now, if you're not on an app that doesn't have the ability to filter keywords, do not go on that app, especially now with the way they retool algorithms. Do not go on that app. An app like Twitter. Yeah, 100%. An app like Twitter or X, you have to get super creative with every single keyword that you can. I don't know how you do it. Mute. Well, here's the thing with me. If I don't watch by midnight, I don't go on. I like tweet from my mentions, or I make sure that there's nothing specific I have to go on social for. I just won't go on, especially not Twitter, I won't go on until I watch the show because someone I follow is going to be tweeting about the show and it's going to get spoiled for me. I literally I logged into Twitter because I got an email message from one of my other accounts that the password had changed and I didn't try to change it. So I said, let me go in there and do my tech head stuff so that I can protect myself and make sure that nobody compromises my account. When I went there, shout out to my guy Scoob, who follows proper live tweeting etiquette. He puts the hashtag in so that you can mute it and it gets out. But I didn't have any filters up. So I just see him put wow and then the hashtag power, right? That immediately made me remember, because this was late. Yeah. I remembered, it did drop. Let me get off social. Because I know it would have been trending all over. Even in that moment, when I looked at the trending topics page, which is another way where stuff can get spoiled for you, I see RIP legend in the trending topics, and that could mean anything.
That could mean so much.
That could mean anything, and unfortunately,
it could mean anything.
Right. Unfortunately, so many notable people have been passing away. RIP, of course, Dikembe Mutombo, 58 years old. Motherfuck cancer in all forms.
So much.
Ultimate legend. He did more with his notoriety than any athlete on this planet when it came to humanitarian efforts in Africa. So shout out to him. Former Hawk, former Nick. So definitely shout out to him.
Praying for his wife and son.
Right. Sure. Pray for everybody, man. Like that. This is media day in the NBA, and it was a dark cloud. It's a very sad, especially 58 years old, to be going out like that. But that just goes to show you.
I actually met him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I posted the picture of us on Facebook, but I met him when the Falcons, Arthur Blank, opened the MLS team here in Atlanta. So at the time, I was working for the Falcons. So we had to be at that event, and he was one of the VIPs at the event. And I literally walked up to him and I was like, can I please have a picture? Like, I was just enamored with him. And he immediately put up his little finger in the picture. And it's such a memory for me. And he was just so kind, so nice. Really breaks my heart for his family. I hate cancer so much.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, shout out to Dikembe. He had so many moments. Lovable dude, hilarious dude. So that just goes to show you they could have been talking about anybody. So I had to get off of social, right? I had to get completely off. Once I watched, I text Chrissy. I said, "Did you see Power yet?" She said, "No, should I?" Yo, she said, "No, should I?" I said, "You better."
That could also mean too many things. That could mean I'm going to be upset. That could mean a lot of things. Right. So I was like, should I? Because I think this was Friday night or Saturday. And I usually don't. I don't watch the episode until right before we do the podcast. I typically watch it Monday morning while I'm working. So I had no choice at that point. I was like, should I? And you were like, stay off social if you don't. And I was like, bet. Texted him an hour later, like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Like, I'm so glad you warned me, but my God, that was worthy of watching live. Like, it was just that good.
1,000%. That was one of the times where I wish we were all up at midnight watching it, or watching it all at 8 o'clock. That episode deserved the live viewer interaction. I thought you wanted us to go live
early. That's why I thought you were asking me. So I was like,
no.
Let me watch it just in case. I was like, because I normally wait, but I'm so glad I didn't, because it was on my timeline, on every timeline. On Instagram, I saw it. On Threads, I saw it. There was no escaping it. And you know, when you see it on Facebook, it's real. Because who on Facebook is talking about Power?
They won't know what happened until December, right? So even if they're up on it at this time, you know it's real. Like Kelly showed me her TikTok algorithm in the search. It had the RIPs up. You're not even trying. So if you didn't watch it, you were stuck, right? But I said it after I watched it. I went right to Twitter and I said that was one of the best episodes. One of the best episodes of the season, probably the best episode of this season. One of the best episodes of Ghost. And one of the best episodes in Power, period. I'm talking about any book. Pick a book, any book. if you were putting together top 5 episodes all time in the Power series,
Yeah.
I think this one gets a spot. I don't know what number, but it definitely gets a spot.
Yeah,
I was
that
just
season
blown
2
away.
of Ghost was
Yeah. Yeah.
Power
Yeah.
was pretty good. So yeah,
Yeah.
but that was up there. I mean, when I tell you the whole time I was locked in, like even the music selections were on point. Like they really wrote the hell out of that episode, and the acting was spectacular. Like Kane gets an award for me because that was amazing. It was just good.
Right. And we've been saying for the last few weeks, somebody major gotta go before episode 10. It's just the way it is. There's got to be somebody who's going to be the catalyst. And I remember we even took informal poll on here on who do we think is going to be the first major death.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody really said Monet.
No.
We thought it was going to be one of the
you
kids.
didn't think all of the Tejadas would survive. You said that I think last week. Like, so I was expecting someone to go. I think in my head it would have been Dru, but Monet, I thought we already got our scare with her at the top of the end of last season, top of this one. So I wasn't expecting it to be her. But now looking back, knowing that it was her, this episode made so much sense. It 100%. Made sense the way it was written that she was going to be the one to go. So
exactly.
Much sense. Yeah.
Exactly. You watched the way this whole episode unfolded. Yeah. You watched the story beats, music selections, just the way the story was pacing. You remember what this season is about. Yeah. And this one of the key themes of this season was giving you the complete contextual information about Monet, who she is, how we got here to this point where our favorite irrational mom who be cursing out her kids, why she's like this. Why are you like the way you are, Monet? And we got the answers all the way through this season. We started with the flashbacks, with the hallucinations with Poppy and with Mecca, right? So we got the idea of why she was in this position, the choices that she made, and why she felt like it was the best choice for her. And those answers and those ends got tied up. And it also kind of makes me wish we had more to flesh it out even more. We didn't have to speed to the end because this was the last season, but we'll definitely get into all of that. Chat going crazy right now. I knew y'all'd be going insane talking about this episode. It is Power After Hours. It is your favorite Power podcast. We are talking about Married to the Game, the penultimate episode to the series finale of Ghost. And Chrissy, we got to talk about how we got here.
Yeah, let's do it.
How we got to this moment. And we got here starting off with a wedding.
Bro.
Or at least the preparations of a wedding. Opening the episode with Kane and with Noma. They're getting the rehearsal dinner and everything. And they try to figure out who gonna go to the wedding. Kane texted everybody. And it seems like his family wasn't really feeling it. But you knew they were gonna show up. They were going to show up regardless, no matter how conflicted. That's the thing about their family. They are an estranged family. Yeah. They're an extremely fucked up family, but they're still a family. Like they'll still look out even if they don't like each other at times. And they showed up to this rehearsal dinner, and it was, although it was Kane and Noma getting married, this was another Tejada dinner.
It was
Tejada more than a Tejada dinner ever Tejada, yo.
It was hilarious. So many moments. Like first of all, the brother, Noma's brother is something else. He's a piece of work. Almost. I'm almost concerned about what he does because it seems like he's the one that we should be fearing at this point. But that dinner, him knowing that like Kane really ain't shit, the fact that they're at Kane's house for said dinner and everybody's just sitting there and they're talking about each other while sitting next to the person. It's crazy to think that this is how a family communicates, but for them, it actually works. Like, it's almost like talking to each other in such a crazy way brings them together, which is twisted AF. And then you got Anya, who is told to go wash dishes. And Diana's like, no, here, you can take my plate too, because I'm not helping. I'm not gonna do it. Like, I think Anya is definitely suspicious of everything that is going on. She's got questions. She is gonna get answers. And just knowing that that was a dinner that they took 2 bites, everyone, and then cleared the table. So again, no dinner was had. Not a meal was shared. They just sat there and talked shit about each other the entire time. I pray I'm never at a dinner table like the Tejadas, because it's toxic, and I don't want it in my life. I don't.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And you could tell that everybody was ready to get their shit off at that dinner table, right?
Wait.
Because you got Monet, who thinks the whole Tejada family, they think this marriage is a sham. And they don't understand what's going on. So they're going to press. They're going to say, let's talk about Kane. Let's talk about how y'all met. Let's talk about what you do for a living. How do you afford a place like this? And Monet's like, yeah, I told you can live here. And Drew's like, yeah, I used to live here before Kane kicked me out. So they are needling and trolling each other at this table. And meanwhile, Anya's getting into it because she's like, yeah, you own a bar. How you off this spot? He's like, well, that's actually my family. Diana jumps in, that's my family.
Bistro. He said she's like, yeah. Bistro.
And she's like, Bistro's doing a lot of heavy. We're doing a lot of heavy lifting with Bistro right now. So you could see everyone was fed up with the facade that Kane and Noma was putting on. Yeah. So they were going to press at that dinner table and see who could crack. And I got to give it up to all of them. They got through it. They definitely got through that dinner. And you could tell, like, Noma's brother, Chinedu, he knows enough, but he's more about decorum than anything. Like, yo, your husband's family, we gonna do this shared marriage. Where's your husband's family? He needs to be around here. They need to be here. They need to be participating in the ceremony, because otherwise that's unbecoming of our family and the type of wedding. Like, if we gonna fake it, we need to fake it till we make it, you know? And one of the most important things that happened in that dinner was that conversation, which proved to be the final conversation that Kane and Monet would have one-on-one, where we saw throughout the episodes that this conversation was inching towards happening. And every time Monet tried to come over to talk to him about Noma, they end up cursing each other out. Anytime Kane came over to find answers, they end up cursing each other out. But they finally were able to get in a room and have a real talk conversation. And this was the most loving I've ever seen Monet be towards Kane ever in his life. Even to the point where he was like, yo, I never heard you say you was proud of me. Say that shit again. Say that shit again. Because he never heard it from her. And the fact that they were able to have a real conversation where they both admitted their faults, there was some type of forgiveness there. And even Monet acknowledging, like, yo, I don't like what you're doing, but you're your own man. You stepped up and I'm proud of you. I thought that was one, my first indication. Ooh, this looks like you're reconciling differences and getting your affairs in order as a character. Oh, I don't like the way this is going. And two, I thought it was a good way to culminate the growth path we've seen of Monet over this season.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You know, we've seen her have those flashbacks, you know, and really trying to figure out who she is as a person, as a mother. And, you know, with her always going at it with Kane. Kane is always the one that questioned everything that she would say. And in that moment, I feel like little Kane, child Kane, heard what he's wanted to hear his entire life. And in his mind, it let him know that, yo, that's still my mother. You know, even when she wouldn't agree with him and she would go against him, Kane still had, almost like Chinedu, right? That decorum. That's my mother, not going to do anything that's going to, you know, disrespect. I'm never going to put a hit out on her. Diana and Dru. So, you know, Kane's always had that little bit of, you know, I'm the oldest child. I'm going to protect my mother. He was the man of the house while his dad was in jail. So it was good to see them get that closure, because I feel like that's what that conversation was for them. It let Kane know that his mom sees him. And this whole time I've been saying Monet is a shitty parent. And granted, that doesn't absolve all the bad that she's done, but it gave Kane the chance to be a child and truly hear from his mother. And that's something we have never seen in this show. And it was good to see. And I'm glad that we got that as an audience. And I'm glad he got that as a character, because I think that's something that was lacking. It was more of like a, you work for me than a relationship where a mother and son. And it was cool to see. And I hope Kane is going to be able to hold on to those final words that he had with his mom. For
sure. And I think when folks ask, do they really love each other? You got your answer in that scene.
Yeah.
It's a complicated love.
It is.
It's a toxic love, but it is a love nonetheless. Kane acknowledged, you had it hard coming up. Yep. You were dealt a bad hand and you did what you felt like was right. And at the same time, Monet said, you did not have to step up. Yep. You weren't even the choice, quote unquote, but you didn't have to step up, and you did. You legit derailed your life for the game. Like, if you look at Kane and his character, that dude is yet another cautionary type tale of the amount of the type of talent that we have in our communities. Absolutely. That aren't fostered in the right environments. Yeah. It's like, so you could be a world-renowned chemist, or you could be a street pharmacist. Yep. And be successful in equal endeavor. It's just a matter of your influences, your upbringing, your circumstances, whether you're a product of your environment or you're able to rise above. And so Kane, you can tell the way he was able to navigate between different worlds. He's super eloquent. He's smart as hell. Yeah, he's a hothead, but he knows how to calculate situations. I could have seen him going into business or marketing or really selling them airplane parts. He could have been doing something like that, or been like a socialite or something better than what was given to him. Yeah. But he still assumed that role because it was family first. We talk about these characters and how they really shitted on the notion of family first. They didn't want to hear it because Monet, and rightfully so, they didn't feel like she exhibited the tenets of the family motto. Right? Yeah. Like, you're not practicing what you preach. So why do you want us to do it only when it benefits you? But he lived that. That's why he wanted to kill Diana and Dru, because they crossed the line. They crossed the ultimate line. Like, it should never be that serious that you got to try to kill Monet. That's really what he says. Like, I don't care about you hate Monet. It can never be that serious. He wanted to get Monet out the game so that he could assume the role and be the big dog. He didn't want to kill her to do it. No. And you find out later on, he was not willing to go to that length. He would never. And that's the one thing about him. It would never cross his mind.
He never would have chose anyone over his mother. That is the one thing I love about Kane. Like, Kane was loyal to Monet even when Monet didn't see it. You know what I mean? When she was blinded by emotion and everything that was going on in her head, Kane was loyal to her. He had information that could have got her killed earlier in this season, knowing that she's the one that raided the stash, and he still chose to protect her. Like, those are the things that him as the son, like, he just wanted to protect his mother because he knew his dad wasn't there, and he knew someone had to do it. And I think that Monet was so hell bent on him being the muscle that she forgot to look at him as her son. And in this episode, she finally did that. She finally chose her kids, and it's sad that it has to come at the end, but it was good to see.
Yeah, definitely was. Power After Hours, your favorite Power podcast. A little bit of a reset as we discuss Married to the Game, season 4, episode 9 of Power. And we got to talk about the unholy alliance between Noma and Carter and the plan that they actually went to execute in this episode. We saw them talking at the end of last episode. They realized, hey, Monet and Tariq are trying to play us. They're trying to pit us against one another. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. You can get this money. We can get this money together, but we got to get Monet and Tariq out. But how do we do it? And this is where Noma's idea was so smart that it was stupid, right? Noma figured Monet is not going to be with this wedding at all.
Yeah.
She going to come in here. She going to curse me out. She going to curse everybody out because that's her default setting. Let's keep it real.
Facts.
She's going to be irritable. She's going to be argumentative. She probably won't show up. So if she's sporadic with her attendance, then that gives me the opportunity to explain away why she wouldn't be here for a while. And that's when she has the mother-daughter conversation with Monet where she says, hey, I don't want to fight. I really think this is good for our families. I just want it to be peace. And Monet tells her, if that's what you want, then make sure you take care of my kids.
Yeah.
And Noma, it's like, yeah, no doubt, I got you. And then offers her the olive branch. Like, yo, I know you want to make your own money. I know you want to get in the game. Here's the keys to a stash in Staten Island. You go out there, it's yours, sell it, do your thing. That's my gift to you. And that's my peace offering so that we could be a family together. Sends them out to Staten Island. The only problem is, as we see in the episode, she ain't the first person going to Staten Island for any reason, right? Earlier in the episode, Tariq gets a call from Carter, annoyed as hell, but gets a call from Carter where Carter says there's new drug kids coming up in the game. There's new players that he has no control over. They selling out of Staten Island. Tariq needs to go over there and find out what it is. And of course, Tariq's. And he's like, nah, you got that. That sounds like little time. You got a whole task force. Why you need me? And he says, I want him off the books. You and your skinny jeans and all of them, you just like them. So you could fit in and you could do your Apple dances and y'all could talk about TikTok or do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could trend with each other and whatnot. You go in there, you find out what it is, and you take care of it. Straight up. So Tariq says, all right. So when I heard, you tell me how you feel, Chrissy. When I heard Tariq going out to Staten Island, I was like, all right, cool. He got him going out there, probably pressing somebody. I don't know who it is, but whatever. Then when Noma mentioned Staten Island, I sat back and said, oh, this is a setup.
It's a setup.
Holy shit, this is a setup.
Yeah.
What did you think about that situation when did it first spark to you that the Staten Island move is a whole setup?
I don't think it hit me until Diana called her aunt and was like, yo, have you seen Monet? And she says, no, Monet was supposed to come home, but she had to run to Staten Island. And I was like, oh, it finally hit me at that point. I was like, oh, this isn't good. Like, okay, that's where Tariq is going. And then also he had a conversation with where Dru had a conversation, and Dru also found out that stuff was going on in Staten Island. And he felt like he was left out because why isn't Carter sending me? So once I kept hearing Staten Island, I'm like, this can't be good. Like either they're setting up Tariq and Monet to kill each other, or there's some type of other plan in play. And for them to get there and know, oh, this ain't good. Like we can't both be here. They setting us up. They got to be working together. But it took me a minute. I guess my brain was just, I was so into this episode that after hearing Staten Island the third time, that's when I was like, okay, they up to something. Because we never found out at the end of last episode what they really talked about. So we didn't know that what the plot or the plan was. Exactly. So it just took me a minute to get there. But goddamn, that was a good plan, except for you just told too many people. Y'all ran your mouth to too many people.
Well, Carter and Noma pretty much blew it by being sloppy, right?
Yeah.
First on Carter's end, he let Dru's underlings know that he was sending Tariq out to Staten Island, but didn't tell Dru. And probably didn't want to tell Dru because he wanted to contain it. But then why would you tell the guys that he has to meet for drops and whatnot? Then when they start trolling him and he starts getting serious, like, what are y'all talking about? Pulling out guns on them. And they say, yo, Carter sent Tariq out to Staten Island, and we was wondering why he didn't send you. Yeah. And this is where we get the deep conversation smack dab in the middle of a bachelor party between Dru and Diana. First off, I was crying when Monet said, y'all don't do no nasty shit in my club.
No, but that's real though.
He was like, don't be doing no nasty shit in my bar. And I'm like, oh, they're definitely going to do some nasty shit at your bar. I already see where this is going. So
it's a bachelor party, so.
Right. So they go in there and, you know, it's turning up. Shout out to Little Dirk. Little Dirk made an appearance there. And
nice
of course, somebody spoiled that he was going to be on there. So the power cast started rolling out that he was there. They wanted it as a surprise. Wasn't a surprise, but it's all good. So they go in there, they turning up. You meeting the cousins, the Tejada cousins and whatnot. And we seeing all these people for the first time and they ready to have a good time with Kane. And Dru and Diana have that conversation about being lost.
Yeah.
Really, that was the theme. Because Diana early on, she's in class and they're taking an exam. She's not even ready for the exam. I know somebody who ain't studied for an exam. I know that look on their face.
Didn't even open the book.
Look. That's the look where you say, if there is a such thing as divine intervention or inspiration, I need whoever's in the God of inspiration to strike me with a thunderbolt in my brain right now because I don't got it. Y'all better whisper to me or do whatever it is that you do to the muses. Y'all better muse me because otherwise this is about to be a solid F.
She didn't know nothing. She knew nothing. Yeah. You know, it's bad when you open the book and you just close it right after. You didn't even have the audacity to read a question. Okay, like you just knew off top it wasn't my time. You know what I mean?
Right.
But her having that conversation with Dru was overdue. You know what I mean? I feel like though the two of them are the most lost, if anyone, because they both had dreams, aspirations outside of this business. Diana wanted to go to school, do her thing. Dru is a very talented artist who we haven't seen draw since like season 2. Like it's been since he injured his hand. It's been a minute since Dru has been able to do anything with a pencil and a paper. So knowing that he's, you know, he can see some type of future for himself and her, you know, after losing a child, trying to figure out what her next move is, them finally having that conversation. Because low key, you would think they were twins. The way that they're connected, the way that they always know what the other person is going through, it doesn't even have to be said. Like their relationship is really, really close. So it was good to see that conversation. It was good to see Dru kind of let his hair down and be able to be there for Kane in that moment. Kane actually looked happy at his bachelor party. Like he genuinely looked like he was having the time of his life. So it was just good to see them like season 1, brothers and sisters, just having a good time together. Cause it's been a long time since we've seen that.
For sure. I'll tell you, I've definitely had a moment where I opened up an exam and said, where did the information go? What happened to that? What happened to all that late night studying? Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it? And you sit down, sitting down on the paper and you trying to rub your temple.
Oh,
you
trying
to
do everything.
exercises. Maybe it's in the back of my head. I'm beating the back of my head to make sure it comes out. And I'm just like, man, I'm gonna have to take a beat. Hopefully I'll just start reading and it click again. And God forbid it's an essay. Y'all about to get the essay about nothing because I'm about to freestyle.
Yeah, I don't even have one for you. I don't even have an opening, so I don't even know where to start the essay. Yeah, exactly. I've had plenty of those, and Diana was fed up. Yeah. And
I love the conversation because Diana was explaining how when I'm in class, I'm just thinking about the family. When I'm in the family, I'm thinking about class. Like I'm confused. I don't know which way to go. And then Dru admits something that we were saying all season, that he was looking for that approval. He was looking for that power to prove it to himself, to have somebody validate him and say, yo, you are the right person for the job. Because Poppy anointed him the next of and not Kane, he felt like he was actually worthy when he should have been somebody who pursues his passions and go into the art. Like he has a natural talent. But once again, if it's one thing about this family that we see, Diana, Dru, Kane, and even to a massive extent, Tariq and Raina and Yaz. These are all kids who could be excellent at something, at anything, but the game marred their opportunity to reach those goals. And now they're fighting with themselves to get out. Shoot, Effie too.
Effie is
Effie
another
too,
one.
and you know she got accepted into the program
Stanford, yeah.
for I think it's USC.
Was it? I thought it said Stanford.
Stanford. Oh yeah, yes, exactly. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Right coast, right state, wrong area, wrong region. But yeah, Stanford. Right, she got into the engineering program, so she has a ticket out. But even when her and Kane were having that conversation, right, where he basically said, "Yo, you in the game. You want it in the game. It's I guess it's blood in, blood out. The way Noma talk it, and there's no way for you to really get out." They've all had situations where I would say in the Tejadas case, they really didn't have an out. Tariq had an out.
He did.
Tariq had a whole out. And if he would have taken the out, we would not have book 2.
We wouldn't have any of it.
We wouldn't have book 2 if he would have went down the path Ghost was trying to set up for him. But it is what it is, right? And I think them recognizing the way their past and their families and their circumstance influence their life, it gives them a broader perspective to say, yo, we could really be better than this. But do we even have the real opportunity? Like, can we? Is it possible? Is it actually possible for us to be better than this? And that's where you get the convergence of the plan starting to unravel. Yeah. Dru tells Diana, yo, I was supposed to go to, or Tariq is going to Staten Island, and Carter didn't tell me, and I feel like he's trying to make Tariq what I'm being right now. Tariq is trying to take my spot. He's trying to give Tariq my spot. Then they talk about not speaking to Monet. They hadn't spoke to Monet, so she gives they call Monet voicemail. They call Aunt Janet, and she just casually mentions to Janet that she was going to Staten Island, and Janet passes that information. She's like, yeah, Monet said she's going to Staten Island. They're like, And then, as Diana says, when Kane's mistress, Effie, comes in.
Great.
He's like, oh, he come in mistress in the bachelor party. Yeah. She mentions to Kane, and they overhear that Vadim went to Staten Island for something. Yeah. Vadim was sent to Staten Island. Like, Noma sent Vadim to Staten Island.
All bad.
And that's when Dru and Diana realize, yo, this don't seem right. Ma ain't picking up her phone. Tariq is going to Staten Island. Then they send Vadim to Staten Island. But a bunch of black people is on their way to Staten Island. They don't normally be there. And it's not for a specified reason. There's trouble afoot. There's definitely trouble afoot. So they figure out, yo, it is a trap. And they haul their ass to Staten Island. Monet and Tariq get out there. They run into each other. Fuck you doing here? Fuck you doing here? Noma sent me out here to get a stash. Nah, Carter sent me out here to check out some new drug dealers. Shit, they set us up. And that's when Vadim and them pop up. So the setup was for Vadim to kill Monet and Tariq. And it just so happened that Dru and Diana were there to save the day before Vadim could carry out his mission.
Thank God they were there. But I'm sorry. When did they all learn how to clip hands off? Like, they were clipping fingers off, putting it in a plastic bag. Like, I didn't know we were mob bosses now. That seemed like a mob type thing. He was like, oh, you got your toolbox? Yeah, and we just gonna use some clippers to just take them off. I have never seen such, but it definitely needed to happen because they had to fake their death. There was no other option. I felt bad at the fact that Monet lost her whip. You know, she had to lose her car in the whole situation. That was a nice G-Wagon. So it's unfortunate that her car had to go, but they made the right decision. You know, Monet saying, well, if they think we're dead, let's stay dead. That was the best decision they could have made if they executed their plans, properly. But unfortunately, you can only do so much as a team. You know, you got to really rely on both sides to execute. And if one side doesn't hold up their end of the bargain, you're kind of screwed and everything just goes off the rails. So it was unfortunate that both people that made plans, neither one of their plan worked.
Yeah.
Carter's and Noma's didn't work, and Tariq's and Monet's didn't work. So yeah,
it was a whole series of good idea, bad execution, right? And shout out to the comments. They saying that Kane and Dru. Shout out to Talia. Kane and Dru is chopping up bodies since season 1. Jalil already just said that too. Shout out to DeMarcus, who said that it came full circle with Dru and Diana saving Monet and Tariq with the Russians, and then putting a hit out on Monet by using Tariq. So that all came full circle. Shout out to everybody chatting it up. Sean saying Effie got accepted to bleep school.
Kane
doing her robot shit.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah. And shout out to my guy, Power TV fans. He's in the building joining us today. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate you always sharing our stuff. And when we go in live, he's definitely the cornerstone of social media in the Power community. Actually, link me too, man, because I got to put you in contact with some people if you're not in contact with them people already, because you be promoting heavy for those shows, and I think you need to talk to the right people. So definitely DM me. If you're not in contact with them, hit me up, because I know everybody sees what you do, and you've been vital to the Power community, tapping in with the live tweets and the memes and coordinating the efforts of Power on social. So definitely shout out to you, and thank you for joining us for this pivotal episode. And Chrissy, we got some super chats to get to. We got some super chats from my brother Sage Advice. Good to see you tap back in with us, bro. First off, thank you so much. I'm gonna hit you with this first one. You say you're officially done with temper tantrum to week. Apex Predator by ass. He's no Randy Orton whatsoever. Was it me, or was that burnt Mr. Potato Head and Noma's bro? Mad annoying. All right, well, I'll say first off, Noma's brother had me crying.
Oh,
because that man did not care what was going on as long as there was some decorum.
Yeah, he was tired of it. Okay, he just wanted everything to go according to plan, how they do things in Nigeria. He wanted it to be the right way. But when she said she needed him, he definitely stood up. He definitely was like, all right, what you need? And he handled it. So I don't need them type of brothers in my family. I can tell you that right now. It's a bit much.
No wonder our father has not shown up. That man was sick. He was like, yo, Dad would have been here. Bruh. Yeah. And remember, this is the brother that Anya was talking about, that she has a brother in Nigeria, but she never takes her to Noma never takes Anya to Nigeria to meet the family. So that was a good touch. That was definitely a good touch. So shout out to you. Let me get your other one up here, Sage. Thank you so much. Yo, that last episode, my fingertips were numb, my skin turned cold, and my heart just about fell out my ass. Sup, y'all? It's been a minute. It's crazy how Monet Jesus Christ herself into the second best mother in Power. Yeah. That is good because I assume Tasha's the first. Or
some people say it's Keisha. Some people like to give it to Keisha. Yeah, saying that she was.
I thought they'd be talking about Rock.
Oh, well.
I mean, are we talking about mothers on a motherly level? Or are we talking about just the character level? Let me get your joy back up here while we still discussing.
I mean, yeah. Tasha, to me, would be the number one. I mean, even though she was all gung-ho when Tariq wanted to be in the drug game, she was so excited, it seemed.
Right.
But I would assume that it would be Tasha just because of how much she still continues to do for her family. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But Monet, her death don't absolve her of her shitty parenting. I can tell you that. But I will say she died with some dignity. She died with a little bit.
Facts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let us know, chat. Let us know who you think is the number one mom in Power. Give us your top 3. There's been a bunch, and a lot of them ain't with us anymore. So definitely get with us. And let us know in the chat what you think.
Right?
Huh?
This was the first wedding in Power Universe, right? We've never seen a wedding, have we?
A wedding.
Yeah, I don't
now, when Uncle Marvin went to do that hit on the Italians.
Oh.
Was that a wedding?
Oh.
Or was it a christening? Or like a
I
baptism?
think that was a christening. Because
it was one of them sacraments.
Didn't we compare it to Godfather? I feel like we compared it to Godfather.
It was probably, it was a christening, right? Like I said,
Yeah.
it was a sacrament. I don't know, was it? Not, it was a
at
baby
church.
thing. A baby thing is called a baptism or a christening.
One of them. Okay.
My God, Devin Mack. He said it was one of the baby ones.
It sure
It was
was.
one of the baby
It was
ones.
something that had a baby in it. Yeah,
here's
I
the
feel
thing.
like this is the first wedding.
I knew it was white involved, and I knew there were kids, so that's why I said I don't think we're going
Like
to
the
marriage.
first
But yeah,
communion
so this,
Catholic,
unless y'all are digging into your archives, I think this was definitely the first wedding that we've seen in Power, and I'm calling it the Black Wedding.
Oh,
I'm calling
God,
it the Black Wedding because boy, we definitely gonna get to that. Let me see. Where else can we go with this? Where else can we go with this?
We gotta talk about the plan. Yeah, I mean, we gotta.
Run with it. Run with it. Go ahead. You got it.
Let's talk about the plan. That Tariq
Let's talk about the plan.
And Monet came up with. You know, Tariq's whole thing. They met with Davis. Davis is doing a lot these days. He's over here still sleeping with Noma. He gets it where he can. I will give Davis credit for that. But if there's one thing I will say, I still believe Davis is loyal to Tariq. I fully 100% believe that. And I think that he proved that yet again in this episode, showing up, trying to figure out the best way to get at Noma and both Carter, knowing that Noma's got a bunch of men that are going to be surrounding her. You're going to have to play it the right way. It was just really smart the way that they came up with the plan. The plan was for Tariq to catch Carter when he goes to confession, which was like every Friday, right? And at a certain time, Dru told him when he went, where he did his confession.
Which sidebar is super accurate, because confessions usually take place during the afternoon, like randomly throughout the day. You can go pull up. There's like certain days.
There is,
depending on the church.
Morning.
So
yeah.
That's wild. That was wild accurate. Shout out to whoever picked that.
Somebody's Catholic on the riding squad.
Right.
My mom does
actually.
So it was that was the point that Tariq's plan, they said that they had cameras. So he was going to need Brayden and he was going to need Effie to help him execute said plan. Now, you've also got Monet, who was supposed to be able to execute Noma, but she refused to have Kane around. Kane can't be there. Kane not allowed in the room. He can't be there. I didn't understand that aspect of it. Kane.
She didn't want him to get shot.
Look at the end anyway. He was in the room with guns flying everywhere, and he still.
That's why she was saying get him away from Noma. So that's why they were going to do it after the reception, like not at the wedding. Yeah. That's why they said, "Yo, let's just gun him down." While they're at the altar, he said, "Well, Kane is going to be there." And mind you, let's keep it real. This is also growth for Monet, because a couple of seasons ago, she might have just said, "Be fucking accurate. Don't shoot my son."
Don't shoot my son. I mean, she's killed cops. Monet killed a cop too. Let's not act like she ain't done some things. Okay, she had a little silencer. I really like that weapon. She had a nice one on her. I'm not gonna hold you. But their plan really was contingent on both of them executing at the right time. Like, it had to be done appropriately so that neither one could tell the other one that Monet or Tariq is alive. You know what I mean? And it just so happens Tariq can't finish. I have never been so disappointed in Tariq in my life. In that moment, for you to allow somebody to get in your head and take your weapon in church, it just, what got me was when Carter was like, "In church? You definitely going to hell." Like, that's also accurate. I was like, you really finna kill a cop in church?
Listen, forget what I've been doing. At least I wasn't killing them in church. This is hollow ground. If we were immortals in Highlander, you couldn't even chop off my head here, and you was trying to shoot me? There's got to be some type of rules.
He said, "You going to hell." He told him straight up. This is a person who's killed his father. And at this point, it really is not a stretch for Tariq to kill anybody's cop, okay? But he really did Davis is a wordsmith. He has a way of using his wordplay to get in your head and really manipulate your thoughts. And in that moment, he really caught Tariq slipping. You've got Effie and Brayden who have executed their part, with Brayden taking some more coke, which I am so tired of that altogether. I need Brayden to go to rehab at this point because he can't control it. So they were able to execute their part, get the cameras so nobody could see, but Tariq got the gun taken from him. He's Tariq fucking St. Patrick, and apparently he should be able to do whatever he wants to do. But in that moment, he failed. Unfortunately, he couldn't execute.
Well, the problem is Tariq, he fell to the same type of fate that every villain falls into. He fell into the same villain mistake. You monologue instead of getting the job done. This is how Adam West Batman got out of every single caper in the history of his show in the 60s, because the enemies could not help themselves but to tell Batman their plan and tell them how they were going to do it, tell them exactly how the death machine works that they have him strapped up to, so that he can find something in his belt or use his mind to get out of it. Tariq was so cocky in that moment that he thought, I got him. I got Carter. He's over with. Where it would have been easier just to shoot him through the confessional and then they drag out his body or do whatever. They had it all set up. He bombed it. For the way he was going off, talking about, I'm Tariq St. Patrick. I did all of this. I killed my own father. What they think I'm gonna do to them? Like, he was hyped, but he wasn't smart. And this was one of those rare moments where this version of Tariq stumbled, because he wouldn't have done that for anybody else, especially when he was in like a strong position of power. Like when he killed Angie's nephew, right? Mm-hmm. There was no way he was going to be able to get out of it. He had him locked up. But you have a cop with a gun to his head, and you don't think he has some type of move to disarm you? Like, he was wilding in that instance. And Brayden, of course, before they go out there, he tells Brayden, yo, you got to be clean. And him and Effie go back and forth about wrongs that they think are going to make rights. And he tells them, like, yo, if you want Kane safe, if you want to get out of this, we got to get both of them out the picture. We get Noma and Carter out the picture, and we're good. You could do whatever it is that you want to do, because no one else will hold something over your head. I love the part where Brayden and Effie were like, yo, you talking about taking out a cop? Yo, wildin'. And he's like, we did worse. And Brayden's like, really? Have we actually done worse? And
do you not remember this?
I had to think about it for a second. Like, yo, what would be worse than taking out a cop? Taking out a federal agent?
Because they did that.
Taking out a federal agent and doctoring the crime scene to make it seem like you saved yourself against an intruder who was trying to kill you, who just so happened to kill the cop. But you're the one that was the last person standing, and you just thought you had to do the right thing. I think that was worse than killing Carter. I mean, it's like, you killed a Fed. You've done a lot of wild stuff. You killed the teacher.
They've done a lot.
They've done a lot. And maybe Tariq is like, damn, that might just be me. When he's thinking about it, like, oh, damn, maybe y'all ain't do it, but I definitely did worse.
I mean, Brayden had just killed somebody the day before.
This is light compared to what I've seen and what I've gone through. And you tell me we just got to get rid of 2 people and the rest of the system crumbles. Yo, I'm with it. So yeah, I will say Brayden definitely redeemed himself.
Yeah.
By being able to run Carter off the road, get him into the accident, and they finally capture Carter, and they have him dead to rights. Not before he's able to let Noma know that Tariq and Monet are still alive, and they're probably coming out together. But now they have Carter in a compromised position. And this is where previous plot points pop back up, where they close the loop, where he was able to disarm Tariq by telling him, yeah, I got video of you killing Zion.
Which is mad. What do you do?
Right.
Like,
And that's what threw him off. Like, and
Yeah.
he should have just shot him, but that's what threw him off.
Yeah.
That they had video of Brayden and Tariq killing Zion. Then he lets them know when they're in that abandoned warehouse or whatever, yo, this whole city will be flooded with cops if I don't make it back. So what are you gonna do? You gotta pick your poison. You gotta choose what it is you want, because them cops don't know I'm dirty. All they're going to know is that you or somebody got me up out of here, and y'all will not know peace. So that's like the Tariq, Brayden, and Effie side, where it's super turbulent right now and they don't know what it is they're going to do. But they were in a better position than the Tejadas were. They were in a way better position than the Tejadas were. Power After Hours, your favorite Power podcast. Let me just tap in real quick, Chrissy, and just see. Married to the Game, Power Book 2 Go, Season 4, Episode 9, recap. What were you going to say, Chrissy?
I don't even remember, bro. Like, yeah, they are in a better position. Yeah, at least they don't have to go into gunfire yet. You know what I mean? But you do have a cop who is in cuffs in your possession, and that's not a good look. So you've either got to come up with a way to taint his reputation, make him dirty, say you're saving the city, or you've got to kill him and eliminate all of said evidence. And I don't really know how they can do that at this point, because Tariq really did fumble in a poor situation. I almost feel like in that moment he was acting his age when he was doing the whole emotional, I'm Tariq fucking St. Patrick, who they think they are. Like, it really showed how young and immature he can be, because this whole time we've been watching him come up with plans, execute things. You know, Monet really did look to him for a lot of execution for various tasks in that organization, but he really, really showed his age, and it got the best of him. Like, his emotions got the best of him, just like we saw happen to Ghost time and time again when it came to situations with Angie. You've now got Tariq in a state of confusion. You know what I mean? Just because he says he's got you on camera. But I mean, at that point, what do you do? Because if he does have you on camera, that's going to get out at some point. That will come out. And that's not a good look for Tariq either. So it's a bad look all around.
No doubt. And let's get into that black wedding. So they had to pretend like they were dead. And part of that was Monet wouldn't show up to the wedding. Yeah. And Kane is telling Noma, yeah, she's going to show up. She's going to show up. Because remember, Noma and Carter did meet up. And they said they recovered 2 bodies blown up at the scene. We haven't been able to identify. And Noma rightfully says, if you haven't been able to identify, then there's not 100% guarantee that they're dead. Because they said Vadim might have overstepped his boundaries and got too bursty. And then they blew up the bodies, right? So that's why they clipped off their fingers and took out their teeth, so that they wouldn't be able to be quickly identified, and they could run the ruse of being dead a little bit longer so that they could execute their plan, right? So now once Noma knows, and part of the plan was Monet doesn't show up. She tells Kane, oh, she wasn't really for us. You already know that. So it's not going to feel out of the ordinary, because you know how Monet is. But even Kane is like, no, she said she's going to be here. She's going to be here. So he knows his mom.
Because they had conversation, you know?
Right. Exactly. And once Noma gets word that they're actually alive, that's when she puts her plan, her side of the plan into action, where she's just like, yeah, we need to see where Kane's head is at. And we need to know ASAP. And of course, Noma's brother's like, yo, you can't kill your fucking husband, bro. You just married him. Like, you can't go 2 for 2. You ain't even married 24 hours yet. Like, this is very unbecoming. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is going on? But she lets them know, hey, Monet is coming after me. If you see her, put her down. But we got to figure this out. And that's where we get into the whole setup of it all. They get married. They're not there. Oh, by the way, shout out to Davis for driving homeboy into the middle of nowhere and killing him when he found out that dude was trying to figure out where Vadim was when Davis knew. Because this was cutting right in as a sidebar, this was the episode where Davis had to choose a side. And he's looking for his own self-preservation, but he had multiple opportunities to blow up Tariq in them spot, and he didn't. And he stuck with Tariq, stuck with Monet, and was able to give them at least enough cover so that their plan wouldn't get blown up. Yeah. But it still happened anyway.
Yeah, it was it's good to see Davis pick a side. I knew he was gonna be loyal. I felt it in my spirit. But it was almost sad in a way, because him having to execute that plan, meaning he had to kill old dude. And you could see after he killed that security guard, his face, the bewilderment, the confusion, the scared nature. And this is not the first person he's murdered. Let's not forget his brother did go to jail for a crime that he committed, but it was still crazy to see how he reacted after killing the guard. You know what I mean? It was just weird. But I'm glad that he did pick Tariq, because in my mind, that's the right side. Noma is not to be trusted. Yeah, maybe you can lay down with her, sleep with her. That's cool. But she will kill you. She doesn't care about anybody but herself. And she's shown that time and time again. And I really do believe that Davis sees the better in Tariq. He sees the good nature of Tariq and wants to believe in that before he believes in Noma. So it was good to see that he chose the right side.
Right. So on one side, Noma knows Monet and them's coming. On the other side, Effie and Brayden tell Monet what happened and said they know. Yeah. Noma knows. And now Carter's captured Tariq. It's like, yo, I got to go save my babies. My babies are in trouble. I got to go take care of them. And, Brayden, it's like the classic line when the hero goes in to save people. You know it's a trap. You know they're setting you up. I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
In classic Defiant Monet status, right? In classic Defiant Monet manner, she went in there and she was like, yo, I'm going to handle it. And then we go to the other side with Noma, and they start doing the money dance. If you've ever been to a Nigerian wedding, or you see that, they start the money dance right after her and Kane have a conversation where she's telling him, yo, you're going to have to choose. Your mom is a problem. You're going to have to choose. And he starts pressing her like, yo, what the fuck you talking about? That's when the brother stops him and they tell him to look around.
Yep.
His brother and sister get scooped up, taken out. All of his cousins get scooped up and taken out. Mm-hmm. Then he gets taken into a room, tied up. And Noma gives him the proposition. You either out or you win. Monet will never let you go as a person. She's going to have you under her thumb. She's stopping me. You could start a new life with me, but she has to go. What are you going to choose? And this is the proposition that she gives. Little does she know, Monet is stalking their ass and coming through and spraying the whole block, clearing it out to get her kids. First with the save with Dru and Diana.
Yeah.
And they have the conversation afterwards like, yo, I'm going to go save your brother. They say we're in it too. She don't want them in the mix, but they've already made their decision. And that's something that Monet has accepted about them, that they're their own people. They're going to make the decision. They know the risks. They've assumed the risks, and they're ready to roll out. So they devised a plan. I think Dru and Diana were going to go in the back, and Monet was going to go through and sneak out. Like they were going to fan in through the front, and Monet was going to sneak in through the back, and they will converge, right? Like Monet was going to get them out, and Dru and Diana would clear out the other guards that might give them a problem. And that whole scene was super cool. From the point she sniped out the guards that grabbed up Dru and Diana. Shout out to her for asking about the cousins. Like, yo, where the cousins at? They were like, yo, they took them on the other side. Because I thought she was just going to be like, yo, they on their own. But, they were like, yo, we got to save everybody. Yeah. So I'm going to go after Kane. Y'all figure out what's going on with Dirk and them. You know what I'm saying? And then we will figure it out. And Monet, when I say she turned this shit into the Black Wedding, she went out like a G. She was sniping. She was creeping on them. She was straight secret agent stealth mode clapping these dudes and rolls up, finally finds one person to tell her where Kane was.
Yeah.
And that's where Chrissy, she's outside the door and she hears the conversation going on between
powerful.
Noma and Kane. And that's where Kane articulates his whole reason for loving his mom and being by her side by side. Yeah. Straight up to Noma. Because I couldn't blame Noma for thinking, oh, they don't really love each other. I just give him this proposition. He'll be ready to kill his family. I killed my husband. Why wouldn't he kill his mother?
Yeah.
And Kane told her why.
He told her why. He said, I will never, ever choose you over my mother. And I thought it was really powerful that they had Monet listening in on that, because after that conversation that they were able to have, you know, the night of the engagement dinner, and then to really hear Kane and the respect that he has for his mother. Yeah, you know, saying, you know, yeah, you know, maybe she was shitty with this, or maybe, you know, we didn't grow up, you know, the normal way, but at the end of the day, that's my mother. I'm not ever going to go against her. So you can do whatever the fuck it is that you going to do, but I'm not going against my blood. I will not go against my mom. And her hearing that in that moment, I knew she was going to die. I knew that was the end for her. And shout out to them for choosing Come With Me, Hail Mary. I was like, oh, this is a good song for this moment. It was so poignant for what we were watching. But that moment, I knew it was the end for Monet, because I knew the way that Kane chose her, she was going to have to choose him. She was going to have to choose her kids. She knew she was walking into an impossible situation. There were guards all in that room. You only had but so many bullets left because you done shot up so many people already. So she knew she was entering into something that she wasn't and probably could not survive. But she knew she had to take that risk for her baby. And that low key, I almost shed a tear. You know, I can't wait to cry about some shit. But just seeing that moment, her hearing him talk about her and how much she means to him, and then her having to make that decision, that is not an easy decision. Like for anybody to just be willing to die, but to do it for your children is a whole different level of love. We've talked shit. Well, I've talked shit about Monet's parenting style, but at the end of the day, she may not show her love the normal way by saying, I love you, I respect you, I care for you, but she loves those kids and she would die for those kids. And she did die for those kids. And that was the most powerful scene that I have seen in Power, to watch her go in there, take them out, clip, clip, clip. And then you see her take this deep breath, knowing that she's about to die. You know, you just gonna have to release everything you got and hope that you make it out. But I think she knew she was gonna die. And you also seeing Kane saying, no, wait. And as she falls to the ground after being shot so many times, you see his face on the ground, just shouting for his mom. And that broke me down. That was just one of the hardest scenes to watch, knowing that you can't save her because you're tied up. There's nothing you can do to protect her. And all Kane has ever wanted to do was to protect his mother. And in that moment, not only could he not protect her, but he had to watch her die. That shit was hard to watch. But it was also important for her as a character, for them to close her out in that way, because we needed to see those kids love her. And you saw that in that scene. Yeah. I just hate that she had to die for that to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I thought it was pretty ill that Noma baited her into walking into that fire. Because you heard her say, like, come on, Monet, what are you going to do? Kane is on the floor. We're shooting bullets. Are you going to be a mother? Are you going to save him? Or will you go out like a sucker?
Every time she said Monet, I just wanted to slap her. Stop saying Monet like that. It was so British of her, but it was just frustrating. Yeah, Monet got baited for sure. You're right. You're right. She had no choice.
Good gal.
She didn't have no choice. God bless Monet, child. She had to do it. She had to do it.
But she went out and you saw it on her face. You
Yeah.
saw it on her face and she knew. And she went out there and she literally took the bullets for her kids. And we will go into the character of Monet because now Monet is officially in power heaven along with some of the greats, right? And I just thought this episode and this whole season was a Monet dedication season. They finally gave us a why to this character who I wouldn't have been shocked if folks thought, oh, she's just one-dimensional. All she do is curse out her kids. She looks at them as soldiers. She don't really love them. So what is there more deep about her? But it's about the complicated relationships that she had with her children. And this was on full display. Throughout the season, we saw how she got here from early days with Poppy, with Lorenzo, and wanting to get out of their situation and wanting to do whatever it took, even if it meant getting a bigger stake in the game than even Lorenzo was ready to admit, even if it meant making her kids soldiers and teaching them about the drug game early on. She was going to do whatever it took because her idea of being a good mother, of elite motherhood, was making sure she was good so that she could make sure everybody else was good. And if she was good, the way to get to her being good was to be kingpins in this drug game and her being a queen pin. The Lorenzo going to jail just accelerated the process because she had already started from an early age stepping up where she thought Lorenzo couldn't. And then when he went to jail, she assumed even more of that power. Had Dru saving her as a kid, had Kane stepping up and assuming a responsibility that was probably too big for him in the moment. And now we get to this point where she was able to, in essence, say her goodbyes and talk to her kids. And when they had the conversation about, are you with me? Are you with me? And they said, yeah, we're with you. And they hug. And then her and Kane reconciling. She finally realized what it meant to be a real mother, the mother that they were looking for her to become. And that was somebody that protected her kids over everything. Not out of self-preservation, but out of the preservation for your progeny, you know? So I think that is what was her saving grace. And that might have been somewhat of a redeeming moment for her because she could have played it a whole bunch of ways, but she literally went into the fire to protect Kane, even if they didn't have the best relationship. Hearing him talk about what was happening to kids and the hard life that they lived, and she looked out when nobody else did. So he's gonna choose her every time, even if they curse each other out, even if they have a toxic relationship, even if he shits on her cooking and she shits on his living situation and not having money and being up under women when he should try to be a boss. It doesn't matter. And this episode beautifully played tribute to Monet and Mary J. Blige. You had Hail Mary as the last song when she was going on her super spy killing spree. Look at the name of the episode. Look at the name of the episode. Married to the Game. I don't think that was a coincidence.
I don't either.
Right? Hail Mary at the end, Married to the Game. Monet goes out like a G. That to me was the significant homage that they were paying to Mary in her role, to Monet as a character. And I think if you look at the whole series, this was the end she was always meant to meet.
Absolutely.
It just was a matter of how much control was she going to have? Was she going to be able to reconcile beforehand? And how was it going to happen? She committed too many karmic atrocities for it not to come back in this way, but she was able to do something good on her way out. So I think it's a fitting end for what I think now is an even more complex character than we were initially shown, because it would be easy to say, oh, Monet's just a bad mom and that's it. Two things can be true. Her circumstances made her into a terrible mom, but she did know what being a good mom meant. She just didn't always show it. But when the moment it was needed arose, she met it head on. So shout out to Monet, shout out to Mary J. Blige. Excellent in this series.
Yeah,
excellent in the lore of power. Definitely gave us memes for days and whole lot of jokes. So I think this was a beautiful way to pay homage to both the character and the actor. So shout out to them.
Yeah, man. I everything you said times two. Like she did well. Like I will say that I remember watching the first season and being frustrated with her acting because I felt like it was just read from the paper. And I think, but that was the problem with a lot of them in the beginning because it was their first time. But as the character progressed and as she always stayed true to Mary, let's just keep it a buck. She was always Mary. But the fact that she was able to make Monet her own, I loved it. Like we have, like you said, we have memes for days, phrases for days, things that she would say to these kids. Like, I know I was really hard on her as a parent, but she was a shitty parent. But in the time the push came to shove, you know what I mean? Like she died for her kids. Like, and that's the only way that I feel like, just like you said, that her character of her stature could go out. I didn't want her to go out with Dru and Diana taking that hit. I didn't want another ghost situation, you know, where kids kill their parents. So her going out for the kids after watching her season after season just be such a terrible parent, and then knowing in the end when she had to make that choice is what are you going to do? Are you going to let her, you know, Noma kill Cain? Or are you going to go and take these bullets? And she took them, and she took them like a G. Like she went down like a G. And it was very fitting for her character. And yeah, kudos to Mary J. Blige, man. She did her thing with Monet. And now she's in power heaven. And we get to see how the hell this story is going to end without her. It's unfortunate, but yo, that death, it's finna start a war, and I can't wait to see how this ends. I really can't.
Chat, let me know on the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being OMG, 1 being how shocked were you when Monet met her end, when she was killed? I ain't gonna lie. I sat there and I was like, nah. Like, I see why my guy Scoop tweeted out, wow. Like, I was just sitting in the back of my chair, looking at my wife like, damn. Like, I was kind of shook up. Like, I was like, damn, we lost our people. Like, I felt like one of my peoples got killed. Like, I got the call, like, yo, they got Monet, Jeff, they got Monet. Like, what?
Oh, shit.
Who did it? Like, I was ready to tool up.
You? Like,
I was ready to tool up.
Like, you need to get it together. You don't
like, let me go to the safe. Let me go to the safe and start blooping and get the tool. You know what I mean? So we was riding out. We ride out at dawn for Monet. First of all, shout out to whoever. I saw a picture. Shout out to Power TV fans if he's still in here. I saw a picture of someone in the club had a sign that said R.I.P. Monet Tejada. Imagine if you were in the club and it was Friday night and you hadn't watched the episode yet, and somebody brought the bottle service sign and it said R.I.P. Monet Tejada. Yo, I would have been fuming. I'd have been sick. I would have been so sick.
But I would have been laughing because that is hilarious. When I tell you, Black people, we take our characters so seriously. That's what I love about us so much. When we love somebody, we love somebody. And when somebody is evil on a show, we will forever look at them as being evil in real life. We hold on to characters like a motherfucker. And Monet, I will forever just look at her as always cussing somebody. What the fuck you looking at? Like, she always was cussing at someone, but she was a classic character. She provided comical relief at times, but I don't even think we were supposed to be laughing like that, but we laughed anyway. But yeah, whoever did that, classic. If I would have seen that and I hadn't watched, I would have been pissed. But I also would have laughed because that's hilarious. You spent money on that?
I've seen murals. I've seen murals of people. I've seen somebody they set up like a memorial on a tree and they release balloons. Like, yo, Power fans are the best, man. Power fans are the best. Hey, hold on. Why is the chat saying, am I a Tejada? Why am I at Tejada?
Braids.
What did I do?
Braids.
Why am I at Tejada?
It's the braids. That's the only thing I can think of. You are giving Hispanic these days. The Haitian in you has
My last name is in Alvarado. All right, my last name is in Alvarado or Tejada. Like everybody, relax. Everybody, relax.
Jeff Tejada, you right there with him.
All right. Okay. You start.
No, that was not a start. That was an agreement with the audience. That was not a start. We're almost at the end, Jeff. Please.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the super chats. DeMarcus, what's up, brother? Monet died doing the Mary J. Blige dance. R.I.P. Monet, aka Red. All right. Yeah. She didn't do. Did she do the stutter? Did she do the?
Yeah,
she might have had a little bit of the shoulders in it. She might have been. I ain't gonna hold you. I might have seen that. I might not though. Sage. Actually, I'll go to DeMarcus again. Thank you so much, brother. Once again, Noma unaliving her mother-in-law Monet was insane. So Noma looked like Keisha from New Jack City smoking Monet. People thought Diana would take Monet life. What a huge plot twist. Well, it wasn't for a lack of trying.
It wasn't. They tried.
It wasn't for a lack of trying. Diana tried, but she failed. So definitely shout out to her.
She died never knowing that it was Tasha that actually is the one that took the shot at her. She never gonna know.
And Tasha called it. She said, she ain't gonna know I did it. She ain't gonna know I did it. So they definitely called it. And shout out to you for the Keisha from New Jack City reference. I had actually said she went out like Cleo from Set It Off. Because you saw her behind the pillar and she's nodding. She's like,
she was doing that in the car. Cleo was doing that in the car. Remember? Yeah.
Pretty much it. So I also this also reminded me of a video game. For my video game heads out there, you'll know it's Red Dead Redemption. And if you didn't play it, I won't spoil the ending, but if you know, it's a similar situation to what happened with one of the characters where they pretty much saw that it was a lot of guns versus a little bit of guns. And they said, you know what? We don't want to live forever. We want to live for today. And we're going to see what happens. And what happened wasn't really cool. So I think that was something that was really ill to me too. So that was the thing that made this episode so ill. You could see where they gained inspiration from so many different shows that we revere as Black people and what we watch. Like there was so many different hints, and that I felt like was a show for the fans who've been following along through the whole 4 seasons, who love these characters. This was just on point. Like the way they stacked it and how they built the suspense throughout the episode. One-on-one. This was like a classic. You got everything you ever wanted from Power in this episode. So definitely shout out to them. Sage, thank you so much once again for the super chat. Just realized Noma's bro played Anansi on Luke Cage season 2. Good call out.
Good call.
Yeah. Good call out. Yes, Tasha is #1 power mom. Reek has only been surviving this whole season, SMH week. Now, I'll push back on that a little bit because he has been bodying cats. I feel like this is his smartest season yet, from killing Junior to running all his schemes to the fact that Noma wasn't able to get him out of here. He has been surviving, but it hasn't been just survival, if that makes sense. He hasn't just been getting by.
No.
Exactly.
He's been making moves. Like maybe I will say the Apex Predator thing, no. But in terms of Tariq St. Patrick and what we've watched him do over these 4, like Tariq he's a smart man. I will say that. And he makes smart moves. This episode is probably the weakest I've seen Tariq in a long time. Like he just made an emotional decision and he wasn't thinking rationally. You almost would have thought he was the one on the coke, the way he was moving. So, sure. It was, I'm going to give him some grace because Tariq been making moves all since the beginning of this show. For real.
Yeah. I just realized they said, because I said I wanted to go and get the Gat when Monet died and acted like it killed me. That's why they called me that and the braids. Why they said I'm a Tejada.
Somebody said you were Dominican, and I lost it because you look like somebody at the bodega.
Shout out to Sean Richards. Shout out to Sean Richards. Y'all are hilarious. Y'all, this is why you gotta get in the chat, man. The chat, they're all stand-up comedians in there. That's my people, though. All my people in there getting their jokes off and whatnot. Shout out to Mars, who said that the only thing I forgot was the love for Noma when she was screaming at Monet.
Yes,
come on, Monet. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna step in for Kane, or are you just gonna stand behind the pillar, love? What's it going to be? The bullets are flying. Make a decision in it.
But hey, what I will say, if this does anything, this may be the one thing where Kane actually wants to work with Tariq. If this does nothing else, Kane gonna stop the bullshit with Tariq because he's gonna need the help because he's going to avenge his mother. We know that for a fact. So if there's ever been a time where he puts down the sword, this is it. This is it.
Yeah. But I saw people, shout out to the chat. I saw people saying in the chat too, he'll find a way to blame Tariq.
Oh,
it always comes back to Tariq. Because here's the thing, and I heard it in the preview, and I said it when they went to go to Staten Island. Yo, somebody need to tell Kane. Why y'all dipping without telling Kane? Because he has a right to be furious. Because he'll feel, as always, that he would have had the better plan. And if y'all would have told me, we could have made something happen. Or at least he wouldn't have been completely blindsided by what happened. And I do think that is a fumble on their regard. Because throughout the whole episode, they had to figure out, yo, is Kane with us or is Kane without us, right? Is he against us?
With Effie first, before they realized that he had left with Effie first, right?
Thank you for reminding me, because they went to talk. And apparently for them going to talk, and going to have sex.
There's a party in my background.
As the balloons go off in the background for Chrissy about the Effie and Casey.
Yeah, that was a good talk, boy. I ain't never seen a talk like that because I thought they was going to go talk some business. And next thing I know,
they was getting the business in. They wasn't just talking the business. They was getting the business in. He ditched his whole bachelor party to go talk to Effie. I was just laughing because I'm like, yo, Noma's over here getting her back blown out by Davis. Effie and Kate are having sensual love, and everybody's not with their fiance right now that they're supposed to be with. So I could even see Davis kind of looking at it like, yo, Davis, are you catching feelings, or were you trying to get the Kane position? And Noma told him a bunch of times. But I think it's somewhere in the middle, right? Because I think also he's seen his world crashing down, and he knows, even though he would have been a smart play a season ago, he's messy right now. He's going through a divorce. His law degree, not his law degree, but his law license is in abeyance right now. Yeah. Like he's not at anywhere ideal person to marry and install as lead of your company, even if it's as a figurehead position. Yeah. So I'm worried to see where he's gonna go from there. But yeah, we are now set up. Monet is dead, and the Tejadas are gonna want revenge. Oof. Tariq, Brayden, and Effie are gonna have to figure out what to do with Carter. And there's a whole lot of fallout. Remember, they had a whole shootout at that wedding. So the cops are gonna be in there, and they're gonna be asking questions, and eventually Noma's gonna have to answer them. So now we have built up to this last episode in this series where it is Noma and Carter versus Tariq, Brayden, Effie, and the Tejadas. One more time to see who's going to be left standing. Got the cop angle involved. There's a whole lot of threads out there. There's a whole lot of bodies that are out there that have been laid to waste throughout this season. There's the Nico of it all. What is his role? Is he going to try to like overthrow Carter, or is he going to get got? There's going to be, we still haven't seen Tate, right?
Yeah,
Effie name dropped Lauren when he was talking about, yo, you have a whole girlfriend and you got another person pregnant, and Effie doesn't know that the baby's gone.
She does not.
Said you got her pregnant. I noticed that too. I was very woke about that.
He said something along the lines of, well, something that what you would think the baby's no longer here, but he didn't say the baby's no longer here. He was like, well, that's been taken care of. That's no more. He said something like that.
Yeah, he
But I don't
turned his
think she
head
caught
type.
it. I don't
Yeah.
think she caught it. But they also have to, I'm hoping they don't leave that Tate story lingering. Like, I do want Tate to get justice for Rashad, because at the end of the day, it was Carter that killed his brother. And I hope that they don't leave that lingering. But at the same time, I don't even know how you would introduce that back at this point. I don't know. There's just no rhyme or reason to it, because at this point, I think we're at war. There's a war. Yeah.
It's definitely going to be a full-blown war between Tariq and Brayden, Effie, and Tejada. So those are some of the key questions that we have. What are they going to do with Carter? What's the plan to get at Noma? Are the Tejadas and Tariq and them going to be able to work together in order to figure this out? Are we going to get anybody else to come help? Like, what is actually going to go down? And this is something I want to throw out to the chat too. I'm gonna bring up a poll right now. We're gonna get up the poll. Use this little YouTube poll. And here's my question to y'all. Y'all engage with this poll. Who's going to survive?
That's what's going to be what I asked you. Who do you think will survive?
Who's going to survive? Give me a quick second while I do my producer. Well, let me see. Can I? Oh, yes, I can.
It's a great question, though. I think
I know how I'm gonna do this.
You have to wonder. We had a huge death in this episode with Monet being one of the main characters of the show. So, who, if anyone else, will make it in the end? Who do you feel will not make it? You know what I mean? Like, I do feel like there's got to be another death that comes in this finale, if not two. I feel like we are still going to lose one more major character. I do feel that way. I don't know where it will go, but I do think we are going to lose another major character in this finale.
So the first poll I got going up for y'all is which Tejada will survive. And I'll ask you this. That doesn't mean that all three can't. That doesn't mean that none of them will. If you had to pick one Tejada, Chrissy, to survive, who would you pick?
In the spirit of this show being back in some other form or way, I want Kane to survive. Only because I do feel like Kane's character gives us the ability to either do some sort of spinoff in the future or bring this show back in some sort of way. I just think his character is so pivotal. He can do so many things. We saw that this season with how he moves with Noma, and now knowing that if they are able to take out Noma, he will inherit that business. He essentially, right? I do believe in her death would inherit the business. So I do feel like Kane would have more of a storyline to give us. And I just don't want to see him die. I love his character too much.
All right. So I like how the poll is shaping up so much. We got 23 votes so far. So
what do you think?
If I had to pick one to survive, I'm gonna go ahead and say Diana.
Oh,
because I feel like it's a coin flip between Kane and Diana. Which one is gonna survive? Something tell me Dru is gone. So if I had to pick one to survive, I'm gonna pick Diana. I think somehow she puts herself in a position to make a major move, because we didn't see Diana and Dru really get active like that. But I know what they're capable of, and I feel like they're gonna team up. One of them is gonna fall, and
I can see that.
Well, I think it's gonna be Dru that falls. But if you pick me one and say, I'm kind of with you. Who I want to survive is Kane.
Kane. I
think is gonna survive. I still think Kane's gonna survive, but I'll definitely pick Diana. And I will end the poll here. And our poll results say 50% Diana, 42% Kane, Dru 7%. So that's after 28 votes from the squad that voted. And now,
why y'all want Diana to live? Jesus.
I'll ask you this one,
Girl,
and I'll
stay
start it with
ruining
you,
dinners.
Chrissy.
What?
Which Team Tariq member will die? Is it Tariq? Is it Effie? Or is it Brayden? Let's get that poll popping. Y'all be sure to tap into that and share your comments while Chrissy agonizes. If you had to pick one that you think is going to go, who gonna go?
That's a tough question because I can go two ways with it. In my mind, if Brayden cannot get off the powder, it's Brayden. If Brayden can go because he's irrational, he's not making smart decisions. But in the same breath, I feel like everything low key is set up for Effie to do so well once she leaves the business. And we all know no one ever leaves this business. So I do think it would be Effie to die just because we've seen her have that conversation with her mom. We've closed that door and now she's got this ticket to Stanford, right? So I just feel like if they were to choose someone to die, it would be the person who's got it wrapped up in a nice little bow to get out, and she would be the one to die. I don't want her to die, but it would.
I like your rationale. I like your rationale. I'll say this: by process of elimination, I think Tariq is surviving.
Has to.
100%. I think Tariq is surviving, and this is even narratively. I don't think he's going to put himself in a position to get killed, if that makes sense. Like there's going to be something that saves him. Business-wise, I do think that they probably have something else cooking with power that they want him to be alive. I would be shocked if Tariq St. Patrick does not make it out of Ghost.
I'd be pissed.
I'll put it to you that I'll put it to you that way. Here's some information if y'all haven't voted yet that might sway you. Michael Rainey Jr. had a party or like a gathering this Sunday to celebrate 10 years of power and specifically him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not out of the ordinary.
Tells me there's something brewing.
But it sounds like it's specifically him that was the focus of the celebration and his
everyone was
tenure in power.
50 was there. So everyone was there. Yeah.
There was a lot of people there, a lot of media cats there. Yeah, it was like a gathering or activation type shit. But you ask why. Keep your eyes open. I'm like, maybe they're celebrating the continuation, or maybe they're celebrating the end. So that's the type of information when I look at it, I'm like,
yeah,
why did they do that?
Right here.
I get in my Windhorse bag. Why did they do that?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I still will say I think he's going to make it out. I would say Effie because you said it perfectly. It's set up too good for her to get out.
Yeah.
And they've already alluded to that she can't get out. So what does she do to try to get out? And does somebody stop that? Yeah. We don't know. But if I had to pick one, that's who I would pick to be out of here. And let's end the poll. And let's see what y'all thought. Will this poll pop up? I said, will this poll pop up? Hold on. Okay. So 45% of the chat thinks Effie, 41% thinks Brayden, and Tariq got 12%.
Yeah.
That just shows
they can't kill Tariq. If they kill Tariq, I'll be upset only because I still am pissed about them killing Ghost. And I know they know a lot of people are irate about that. And so I just don't feel like they will kill off his character for that simple reason. So I'm glad the audience agrees, and it's got to be a Brayden or an Effie situation. Brayden just has to get off the powder. Like he's got to get off them drugs. He has to.
Okay. And here, y'all could talk in the chat. And if y'all have any questions for us or any questions that you have for the show, pitch it now. We go for rapid fire before we get out of here. Do you think either of Noma or Carter survive?
No.
Both of them gone?
Yeah.
Not jail, 6 feet under?
No. Gotta go. I want Carter dead. I don't even think there's a world in which he can be in a jail. He's done so much corrupt shit they would take care of him with a shank the moment he got there. Okay. So in no world does he survive. Noma, I don't think there's a world where she can survive either. Like, you have literally just killed Kane's mom. He's not none of them kids is gonna be okay until she's 6 feet under. They don't want her in jail neither. So I don't think there's a world where either one of them can survive, and I don't think they should. That's just my point of view.
Monica,
Nico
thank you for the what you say?
Nico can go to jail.
Monica M, thank you for the super chat. Season 1 finale, Tasha came out of jail. Season 2 finale, Tasha was reunited with Yaz. Season 3, Tommy and Tasha got back together. What is up with Tasha in the season 4 finale?
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
Good question. I don't know. We've only
Who
seen her
knows if
once.
she makes it out?
Yeah, oh God, you can't kill Tasha. Yaz, poor Yaz. What would she even do? She can't stay with Big Mama. Big Mama's an alcoholic.
Well, you know she time jumped, so next year she'd probably be 25 and she just have to deal with the grief. You know what I mean? I don't know how time acceleration works on the body and the mind, but who knows? Who knows? I mean, Yaz is like 6'2". Like, what are we talking about?
But I would like in the end, like the end montage for Tariq to be with his mom and Yaz. I do hope that he does get the ending that was the whole point of this damn show to begin with. Like, the whole point was for Tariq to go back to his family. And I hope that in some way, some form, he's able to do that.
You ready for them to hit us with the dramatic version of the intro? They say this is a big rich town. They about to hit us with that.
Yeah,
they about to hit us with the.
And I'm gonna be right
there. The super dramatic big rich town.
This might be the last time we hear it, Jeff.
It might be the last time we hear it.
Oh my God!
It might be last time we hear it. I wonder if the prequel would have it.
I don't know, man. I feel I don't even feel it would feel the same in the prequel. If it's gonna go, let it go down with Tariq. You know, but it will be sad to hear that for the last time. You know, 50 rapping that verse, that long ass intro. You know, of all the shows I watch, that's got to be the longest goddamn intro. When I try to fast forward through it, it's like 3 minutes. Why is it so long? I mean, we have to listen to the whole
song.
I get it, but every time, you know how sometimes the shows, they'll just kind of do a little bit and then you go into the show. But every week we got to listen to the entire song. Every week.
Oh, you can just skip it? You can just skip it?
I do, but it's the fact that I have to spend time skipping it. Okay. But I will not skip it this time. I will let it play through for the spirit of knowing it's the final time we gonna hear Big Rich Town.
That joint is like 90 seconds long, maybe.
It's so long. I don't know. It feels like it's so long. Like, why? Like, I just be wanting to get to the episode because I know it's so good based on everybody's reaction online. Because I try to watch it on Monday because I need my brain fresh for y'all niggas. All right. So I try to be fresh, but I just gotta fast forward through the whole song so I can get into it.
Bruh, you are the first person in the history of Power to complain about the length of the intro in the beginning. Like, what are we doing here? I think we used to be a country. Like, what is this? We used to be a proper country. Low-key, we used to be a colony. Now we are a proper country, in it.
Oh my God, it's
Young
so
T,
long.
Thank you for the super chat. I think Noma will be able to make it to the UK and Tariq goes to jail to be able to put the show on pause.
I don't want to see Tariq in jail either.
Yeah, we already saw Tariq in jail. He can't go back.
Yeah, that letter he got from Ghost from the grave.
Yeah. You can't top that. You can't top that.
That was so traumatic in every sense of the word. When your father tells you, "I knew you weren't gonna be shit, little nigga." Like,
What's up, little nigga? Right where
Yeah,
you belong.
yeah,
Right.
he can't go back to jail, bro. He can't go back.
Yo,
Like,
Michael Rainey Jr. see the script talk about you going back to jail. He said, "We are not going back.
No.
We are not going
No.
back." All right.
that was
Yeah, I don't think that's
it was
happening.
hilarious and mean at the same time. We was so mad about that. But yeah, nah, he can't go back. I don't want to
All
see him in
right.
jail.
Sage, thank you so much once again, brother. Yo, nice Jay Marston reference, Jay. I know if you know, you know. Exactly. Yeah, man. That's exactly what, that was the thing I just thought of when we were talking about it. Like, yeah, he went out like a super G. Yeah, I think that's it. Looking at the comments, y'all definitely shout out what y'all thinking or whatever, or your last comments. But this is gonna be ill, man. I just looked up. The last episode of OG Power was an hour and 22 minutes.
I do wonder.
I wonder if they're going to give this much runtime. I'd be shocked if it was only an hour.
Nah, we got to get
like
at least
62 minutes.
An hour and 15 out of this. Like at least an hour and 15. Because there still are some things we need to wrap up in this show. Like it's more than just Monet dying. There's still answers that we need for this show to be the end. Like, this isn't like, oh, let's just wrap it up for the season. This is a wrap. So there are things they've got to accomplish in this final episode. With what we just watched in this episode 9, I firmly believe that we're going to get the finale that we wished we had in OG Power. So I am 100% believing in these writers and this cast to deliver us the finale that we all deserve with this show. Because the fans are real. We watch this shit. We only have stars for Power. And I want to see a proper goodbye to an iconic character in Tariq St. Patrick. You can say what you want, but the man went from the most hated to the most loved to maybe the most hated again after last week. Everybody was just so mad at him with this episode. But his character is iconic no matter how you spin it. So I want to see him get the finale that he deserves.
I see Jaleel in the comments saying it's 62 minutes. Jaleel, where'd you find that?
Jaleel, who told you that?
No, Jaleel, no, hold on. I'm calling ISO right now. Jaleel, where did you find that 62-minute information, brother? Just direct me, because I'm doing a little bit of Googling. So
Jaleel,
and shout out to Cliff Eastwood, who has also, it's all the wait, time out. Oh,
it's on the TV.
Jaleel got cable.
Doing that?
Jaleel got cable.
Wow.
Jaleel got cable. Chill.
Must be nice.
Chill.
It must be nice.
Xfinity. You got an Xfinity box?
He got money. Hulu Live, nigga.
Jaleel got money.
Yeah, he got money.
Xfinity got sports. Xfinity got sports. I know you got the sports package too.
Forget that free Jaleel movement. That boy got money to get a lawyer.
Hold on.
Fine.
Hold on, talk about Jaleel, you got the updated remote control? You got the Alexa remote control?
Mm-hmm.
Now I need to know. We are not ending this spot. I need to know what box. I know he got the advanced box too. We don't even got Xfinity in New York, but I know. Because I used to be a Comcaster back in the day.
Ask the remote. How much is the episode?
He said it's on the TV.
The disrespect,
different. Different. He is like, y'all streamers, y'all that got the Stars app. You're not intellectually able to comprehend the runtime of my Power. Okay.
Oh, you're using Google.
Yeah,
huh? Cute. Yeah.
Jaleel was like, yeah, run it up, man, and give me the cable also. He's like, give me the Fios, the fiber optic internet. He got the whole package. He got the whole pack. I already know.
You had me on your side up until you go
to Jaleel's crib on Sunday. You watch an NFL Sunday Ticket, not Red Zone.
Not Red Zone.
Different. Any show you want, any game you want, Jaleel got it. I'm telling you, this different. Bro,
he living different. No, he living different.
He living different. My man said it's on the TV. That's bro.
It's a wrap.
Listen,
it's a wrap.
I didn't know Jaleel had it like that. You got cable money? Different. He sees everything in real time, like as it happens. He's not coming in 2-3 minutes later like everybody on streaming. He's like,
the season's over,
he's like, YouTube TV, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
What is
he's
that?
Like, oh no, I watch BMF too. I'm keeping Stars. He has the package. He's not ever turning Stars off. It's just
my man said, you guys unsubscribe to cable channels after your shows are done? How uncouth. Like
Oh,
totally. That's like in
he's
poor
Noma's
taste.
brother all of a sudden. You know, decorum is what Jaleel is a part of today. We don't have time
Right.
for this shit. Okay. Not all of us can afford cable, Jaleel. Some of us live off of Roku TV.
Now, why would I subscribe on a silly app when I could just get the Xfinity box, love? It's 62 minutes.
It's the love for me. It's the love for me. But you know
Yo,
what
you
also
asked
got me
Jaleel.
is when the brother said, "Let's get on with this." Oh, you know, you
Yeah.
already
Oh,
said
yeah. He was pissed. That man said, "Your in-laws aren't here."
it. Shit, the truth was real, boy. Woo!
No, you asked Jaleel to share a password. He's going to spit on you,
Oh,
bruh.
yeah,
Different. Now, Jaleel is different, bro. Oh, look. To be
Oh,
fair, I don't pay
to
for.
be
Don't do
fair, I
that.
pay for
Don't
it.
do
You a
that.
lie, nigga.
Don't. You know what?
You a lie, Jaleel,
Chrissy,
please.
let's settle. What are you looking for in the 62-minute finale of Book 2 Ghost? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for them to wrap this show up properly. I just want to see all the characters get their due. Whoever dies, we pay respects at the end. We'll have a repass after. You know, I just want everybody to go out the G's the same way they came into this show. I feel like we've had so many great characters watching this show. It really does make me sad that next week is the last episode because I truly do enjoy watching this show. It has to be like right after Raising Canaan. This is the one that I look the most forward to. So it makes me sad that it's the end, but I am hoping that they close those loopholes. I would like to see Tate get justice for his brother because y'all know I'm still real torn up about Rashad's death. Now we can't have him going out like that because he didn't die the way Carter said he did. It wasn't no damn Russians. So I am just hoping that he gets that done. But if they don't, I won't be upset about it either because I understand that the focus has to be getting justice for Monet. So
Right.
I'm just hoping that the characters, go out the right way. I would like to see Tariq survive this. That is my hope, is that Tariq and Kane both survive this in the end and can put a truce and just be cool with each other without all the animosity and all the anger.
Right. I hope somebody gets a degree. I don't want them kids. Bruchandria, somebody got to graduate, bro. Like, I've invested. Y'all got to get y'all degree and make something of yourself because y'all went through too much over this 4 years.
Has it been 4 years? Oh, well,
no,
yeah.
No, it hasn't. It's been 4 years in the show, but like Showtime, I don't even think they're juniors yet.
Facts.
Barely juniors.
Each season they were still in like the same year from the previous. So you're right. Yeah, they can't be graduating.
I need somebody to graduate. I need somebody to at least say like, yo, I only got 16 credits left. Noma gotta go. Noma gotta go. Carter has to get that karma hit back. However, if Carter dies. If he gets locked up, if Tate is the one to kill him, retribution needs to come for Carter. So I'd say that. And I know we're going to lose some more major characters. I'm not ready, but it's going to be cool. The good thing about a 62-minute episode is that it's actually going to be like 57 to 59 minutes of actual show. Yeah. Right? Excluding credits, excluding previously on Power. Oh, excuse me.
Oh my God, it's so long.
Previously on Ghost. And then the recap, and then the sickening Big Rich Town 1 minute and 40-second intro that Chrissy could not deign to listen to a second more.
Oh my God. I'm going to listen to it this time. I will. I promise. I'll even send you a video. I will listen to Big Rich Town for the sake of it being the last time that we probably will hear this damn song. Okay.
You go call Stars and be like, now 50 Curtis, I know that this is an iconic intro, love, but it can't go on for more than 2 minutes.
In my defense, when OG Power was on, I never fast forwarded through it. I always would just ride it out.
So what's the difference now?
Because I would watch it live. Now I'm watching on Monday. So I'm like, I want to get to the show. I don't have time to waste. That's the problem.
They're going to bring the Trey Songz version back just for you.
Please don't. I will definitely turn off.
And then,
I might
you
not
know
even
what?
watch the
You're
show.
gonna be standing on the corner talking about, I once knew a man who had no. I once was sad that I had no shoes until I met a man who had no feet. That's what you're gonna sound like.
If they punked us with that shit? Can you imagine if they did that at the last episode?
Bruh.
I would lose my shit. Don't do it.
So we did talking. I see. Shout out to comment section talking about whether or not it was an advanced program, and that's why Effie is getting the graduate.
Program.
They must be all in an advanced program.
It was.
I don't know how advanced they are because they ain't passing that final. I can tell you that right now. That final is clipped after all the shit they went through. Actually, no. You know what? Tariq passed the final.
Tariq always passes.
He just knows. He's just lived enough life to pass that final. Who do you think is going to pass? Do you think Diana is going to graduate?
No, I don't. I'll be shocked if she makes it out alive at this point. She's been so like dread the past few episodes, so I don't know. But that was an advanced program. I do remember that because the teacher that ended up committing suicide, that was the whole reason she was trying to get, because remember Zeke found her hanging from her because Monet killed her. But dang, so much has happened on this show. Jesus. But
wait.
I forgot about that. Monet killed Zeke's lover. God damn. But yeah, that was, I will say, I can't deal with the finale of this show. I just can't.
Okay. Well, we've gone long form on Monet and this penultimate episode, and we are tooling up for the 62-minute finale of Power Book 2 Ghost. Before we get out of here, HFG, I'm late, so I have to watch the replay, but I want to make sure I show my appreciation for you both.
Oh, thank you so much.
HFG, I appreciate you. Thank you for tapping it. Yeah, definitely catch the replay. We was going in, the chat was chatting. So this was always love. And here's one thing that I would ask for those of you who watch, for those of you who subscribe, for those of you who listen to the audio version of the show, replay gang, all of y'all, come through next week. Come through next week, 6 o'clock. Yeah. If you know people, if you in the chat, you love the show, you know people who watch Power, and they can fire it up from their phone, they can fire it up from their desktop, they can have it running on their TV in the background, wherever. I want Power fans to pull up with us on Monday as we close out Book 2 Ghost, and quite possibly this timeline of Power. Like, we gotta send them off strong. We gotta, we're gonna keep going because we still got a couple more shows left in the universe. But I want this to go out big. I think it's gonna be a really dope episode. And we're gonna discuss it because we are going to discuss it here. So I'd love for people to come through. Everybody who usually listens or watch on the replay, come through live if you can. Definitely come through, pull up with us, 6 p.m. Eastern. Run us on the phone, run us wherever, like run us on the commute, wherever you're doing. Like, we want y'all to come through, and we want our community to bring people to come through as well. Subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can chat it up with the rest of us. I want to really blow this out and have a dope discussion. So come through. Let's have a dope discussion. Let's really congregate as a Power community and send this show off in style. That's my one ask for y'all. If y'all could do that and really show homage to the show, and we say we the best Power community on the internet, let's show people. Let's get people. Let's double, triple up the numbers. And let's have people who good faith talkers of Power, and get all your jokes off, get whatever. But like, y'all good people, so bring good people through too. Shout and if you can't make it, it's cool. But this is your extended invitation. No matter what medium you listen to us on, tap in with us. All right. So that does it for Power After Hours. All righty then. We come through 6 p.m., bro. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 5 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Mountain, 3 p.m. Pacific. We are here. We almost went 2 hours. This is nuts. All right. Chrissy, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me everywhere online at Chrissy B. Davis, literally every social media outlet. What about you, Jeff?
Jeff J. Says all social media. Jeff J. Says on YouTube. We got a lot going on. NBA season already getting super lit. Media Day was today as well, so definitely come in and tap in with us on the Jeff J Says YouTube channel. You could also find me, Knicks fans out there, or if you're a fan of basketball, I'm taking over Casual Fridays or at Knicks Film School, the YouTube channel Knicks Film School. Really dope basketball analysis mixed with great commentary, fan commentary. So I'll be doing that every Friday noon live. So definitely tap in with us. And we got a lot to talk about already with blockbuster trades that haven't been consummated yet and all of this and outlooks of the season. So definitely tap in with us there too. And you can follow Power After Hours on Instagram and Twitter, where we'll be keeping you up to date with everything we got going on. And I'd love for y'all, if y'all are not subscribed and you listen to this show, just head over to YouTube and subscribe to Power After Hours. It'll help us continue to build the community and get the good word of Power After Hours out to as many people as possible. So that does it for us. Fam, I know you got off of work. If you can listen at work, listen with us, especially next week, because it's going to be lit. Next week. Yeah. Good night, everyone. We are going to talk to you soon. Prepare. Stay off the internet if you cannot watch at midnight or you can't watch sometime during the day. I know we all work or whatever, but do yourself a favor. Stay off the internet because I don't want y'all to get spoiled, all right? So that does it for us. For Chrissy, I'm Jeff. For the Power After Hours community, thank you for tapping in with us. And we'll see you to wrap this all up next week. Later, y'all.
Peace.
I want you to sing it with me. They say this is a English town. Yeah, yeah. I just come from the poorest part. Right, nice city, I gotta make it. This is where it goes.